Look at Mr. Mime! It's a creepy frog! Oh no!
Portrayed as a curious, heavily furred biped that Palmer imagines were unknown to Pokemon scientists until the turn of the century.
Oh man!
When a specimen
What is up, YouTube? Welcome back. It's Curmudgeon Jones coming back to you with another reaction video. Today we're going to be continuing the realistic Pokemon biology. This is going to be part 2. We're going to be continuing where we left off from the last one. The last video was really funny. I really liked the art. There was some really cool designs, and then there were some really ugly, crazy, disgusting looking designs. So I'm excited to see what we got in this next one. I think there's 3 parts to it. So there'll be another one of these next week as well. If you like these videos, make sure to leave a thumbs up on the video, comment down below your favorite part or your favorite realistic Pokemon and other things that I should react to. And let's go ahead and hop right into this video. Let's check it out.
Welcome back to Curious Archive.
Cool.
This video is the second half of a series exploring the biology and ecosystems of realistic Pokemon. The Realistic Pokemon Art project was created by the talented RJ Palmer, aka Arvelous, and I have links below where you can follow and support his work. This second round of redesigns features amazing biological details and an even wider variety of Pokemon.
That's really cool.
But please remember the disclaimer from the first video. These realistic life forms are an exciting speculative exercise, but not an attempt to somehow improve the stylized designs of the original games. They're just fun alternate takes that imagine Pokemon in something closer to real-world anatomy. Although of course these life forms are more fantastical than what would likely appear in nature.
A little scratchy this
morning. With that said, let's jump into part 2 of
Let's
our
do
nature
it.
documentary of Another World and return to the astonishing domain of realistic Pokemon. Beginning with Gen 2 starters, we have Meganium and its pre-evolutions. The designs of these creatures take inspiration from sauropods, but also from modern tortoises. And while tortoises have evolved to eat grasses, Palmer imagines the long necks of Meganium help them reach their preferred food of treetop fungi.
That's cool.
And speaking of fungi, the antennae at the end of Meganium's nostrils are actually a unique strain of fungi, which Palmer states the Titans have a symbiotic relationship with, although the exact purpose of this is unknown. The flower-like structure on the front of their shell is not a plant, however, but a brightly colored frill that mimics flower petals. This might seem strange, but animals camouflaging themselves as plants has been documented numerous times in nature, like insects whose wings have evolved to resemble leaves. Up next, we have Typhlosion and its pre-evolutions, reimagined with greater detail and anatomical plausibility. In its claws and fur pattern, this reimagining resembles a cross between some sort of badger and a sun bear. Palmer imagines Typhlosion feeds primarily on comb bee hives, and the wax from the hives has a chemical reaction with Typhlosion saliva to create a flammable substance. Typhlosions then use their tongues to coat their quills in this chemical, and then light them on fire using specialized flint-like teeth. The blazing quills are an intimidating display, and can burn for long periods thanks to Typhlosion's fire-resistant coat. A really original explanation.
For sure.
And the last starter from the home
that one's cool
Alligator
too.
And its pre-evolutions, rendered in all their reptilian glory. Not surprising.
He did such a good job on the Johto ones, man. Look at that. Look how freaking scary he looks. He looks like Renekton. If anybody plays League of Legends, he looks like Renekton. That's what he looks like. That's so cool, man.
Alligator and its pre-evolutions, rendered in all their reptilian glory. Not surprisingly, for Alligator is most analogous to Earth alligators or crocodiles. Palmer imagines this life form as a large, opportunistic carnivore, lurking in coastal estuaries and frequently traveling between salt and freshwater habitats. I'd probably watch my step near rivers with these giants around. Moving beyond Generation 2, we have the incredible desert-dwelling Flygon.
That looks like
Palmer
a freaking alien,
that this swift aerial life form possesses a helium bladder that helps the large organism achieve flight. Flygon skim the surface of the desert, looking out from behind a red transparent membrane which protects their eyes from the sands. And on the sands, near some other interesting desert fauna I'll let you classify on your own, you can find a Trapinch and a Vibrava, both reimagined to look like they could more feasibly be early stages in a Flygon's life cycle.
A lot.
In this alternative world, millions of years ago, large prehistoric Pokemon stomped across the land, now known to scientists in the form of fossils. Taking inspiration from the games, Palmer imagines recent technology has revived these
Look at that! Tyrantrum looks sick. He looks a lot like he looks in the game, though, but man, he looks cool.
Species like the mighty Tyrantum and the lumbering Bastiodon, pictured here locked in combat, in poses reminiscent of classic dinosaur art. Not surprisingly, Palmer has based his Tyrantum off the T-Rex, and has imagined its beard as a scaly, soft tissue pouch that could flare out to intimidate rivals.
That's so cool,
It's exciting
dude.
to imagine these creatures living in the primordial landscape of the Pokemon world 100 million years ago. It almost makes me want to visit a Pokemon museum of natural history. Another fossil Pokemon you might find at such a museum is that of Aerodactyl. Now resurrected as living creatures, the Aerodactyl are now known by Pokemon scientists to be a vibrant shade of purple,
like a horrific
and to possess early protofeathers on their necks.
Pterodactyl mixed
Elsewhere
with
in
a
this
bat.
image, one can also spot an Archen and a Cranidos, further fleshing
That
out
looks really cool. That Pokemon is such a freaking derp in the game, especially what it evolves into, the Archeops or whatever. That's so pretty, though. Look at that. I really like that a lot.
the world of prehistoric Pokemon. Deep in the midst of a past ice age, the mighty legendary Pokemon Kyurem reigns
Look at
supreme.
freaking
Palmer has
Raichu,
redesigned the
dude!
stylized
Back it
armor
up.
of Pokemon. Deep in the midst
Look
of
at that! That's Raichu. That is sick. I'm not even worried about the Kyurem. However you say this stupid name. I never can say this name right. I hear people say Kyurem, so that's what I'm going with. I mean, that's cool for sure. So, like this half is kind of ugly, the right half, but the front half is cool. But Raichu looks sick,
past
man.
ice age, the mighty legendary
I'm guessing
Pokemon
those are-
Kyurem reign supreme.
I don't know what
Here,
those are.
Palmer has redesigned the stylized armor of the
Pillowswine?
original as
They look
more
like Pillowswine,
biological
yeah.
plating. Though Kyurem was a creature of almost insurmountable power, the legendary beast Raichu, imagined here as a Smilodon-like Ice Age
Dude,
hunter,
that
would
is
sometimes
so
take the risk
cool.
and try to ambush this titan. Though a bite of a Raichu could take out most
Pillowswines.
Pokemon, Palmer imagines it had less effect on Piloswines, depicted in this image as Ice Age megafauna with coats so thick they provide a natural defense from the teeth of whatever else might be stalking the tundra. In modern polar and mountainous biomes, one might find the elusive
Look at Mr. Mime! It's a creepy frog!
snow,
Oh no!
portrayed as a curious, heavily furred biped that Palmer imagines were
can't handle
unknown
it.
to
Look at
Pokemon
that thing.
scientists until the turn of the century,
Oh,
when
man.
a specimen was at last documented. Sharing the frigid biosphere with these seldom glimpsed creatures are the elk-like Pokemon Winter Sawsbucks and the penguin-like Delibird. Another lifeform in this image is the infamous Mr. Mime, reimagined as a species somewhere between a frog and an axolotl. And
thing is
honestly,
so
I find this redesign
creepy.
a bit nicer to look at than the original. Lurking in the cave systems, one can find Noyvern, a
That's
species
sick.
that is a dragon type in the games, but Palmer has reconceptualized as a creature more closely related to bat Pokemon like Swoobats.
Yeah.
A single Noyvern can claim miles
at the
of
shiny-
cave systems
there's a
as their
shiny Zubat back
territory,
there, by the
scaring
way.
off competitors with booming sonic frequencies. Swoobats are their smaller cousins, and look much closer to a traditional bat here on Earth. And if you look closely, you can see Joltix
That's
clinging
cool.
to the fur of these species. Palmer imagines these small arachnid Pokemon can create static charges by nestling into the fur of other fluffy Pokemon.
That's not
Pretty
a hard
creative.
one to redesign, but
One
that's cool.
massive Pokemon Palmer
Whoa.
redesigned is Onyx and its evolution Steelix. Instead of being made of literal rock, Onyx is depicted as a massive serpentine lifeform with rock-like scales.
That's
Likewise,
so
a Steelix isn't fully
cool.
metallic. Instead, exposure to its natural environment transforms its scales into shiny, metallic-looking armor. This process almost reminds me of a scaly-foot snail, a type of marine gastropod that incorporates
That's
iron
cool. I didn't
sulfide
know
into
that existed.
protective scales on its body, almost like a natural suit of medieval armor. I could
Dude.
see Steelix perhaps undergoing a similar process to form its own protective scales. And holding on to dear life at the end of these creatures' tails, you can perhaps spy a Sableye. Reimagined not as a ghost, but as a tiny primate with strange eyes
That's what I thought
similar
it was
to
in
a
the background.
Tazier. Palmer describes this species as attracted to shiny objects, which unfortunately for this Sableye included the metallic scales of a Steelix. Under the waves, the aquatic
one's cool
leviathan
too,
Gyarados
man.
takes on the role of apex predator in almost any aquatic ecosystem they inhabit. This creature recalls the appearance of a deep-sea oarfish, which can grow up to 26 feet or 8 meters in length.
Whoa.
Smaller than this version of Gyarados, but still pretty incredible. Palmer imagines the marine biologists of this world for decades didn't realize the comparatively tiny Magikarp were early forms of Gyarados, which makes sense. And nearby, a greater underwater
Look at all of
ecosystem
those. Look at all of them, like Cloyster, Clamperl, Shelder, Relicanth. Like, man.
Including Cloyster and a Relicanth, all looking closer to their real-world animal influences. Returning to legendaries, we have the awe-inspiring Pokemon Zapdos, an enormous bird with an incredible electric discharge. Instead of being an elemental deity, this version of Zapdos has an extreme capacity for electricity retention, seeking out thunderstorms high in the atmosphere and gathering.
Just a quick aside, Zapdos is my favorite of the 3 legendary birds. It doesn't look as cool as Zapdos, but it's still just super cool. What is going on with the Voltorbs?
Electricity
they're like little
a
armadillos.
Lightning rod. A very interesting reimagining.
Man, that's
Another
cool.
electric Pokemon is Raichu, the evolution of Pikachu that also looks quite rodent-like. As you might have already spotted, this image also contains Voltorb, reimagined as a Pokeball mimicking Armadillo, and Magnemites and Magnetons as magnetic crabs with red and blue colored claws. In my opinion, truly hilarious designs for some of the most outside-the-box and challenging original
But yeah,
Pokemon.
like, what do you do with that?
Another
That's so hard
ancient
to
and seldom seen legendary is Lugia, redesigned as a life form with more streamlined aquatic features. This guardian of the seas looks like something from the Plesiosauria order, just even larger. Near Lugia are some additional underwater species like Quillfish and Seadra, all of which have far more detail.
Dang, that Seadra looks sick, and so does the Quillfish.
In the skies, the immense legendary Evaltol, redesigned here as an avian super predator, casts a dark shadow over most flying types whenever it comes out of its deep hibernation. In designing this ancient creature, Palmer took inspiration from the late Jurassic feathered dinosaur Yi-Chi, an animal whose wings are perhaps the closest thing nature has ever produced to a dragon's. Swooping just out of reach of Yveltal's claws are Latios and Latias. With this duo, Palmer has merged the stylized, airplane-like elements of the original designs with the anatomy of various real-life bird species, creating more plausible but still agile-looking life forms.
Man.
And in the other corner of this image,
that looks cool too, honestly. It looks kind of derpy, but
wings, according to Palmer,
it still looks cool.
Membranes extended over an enlarged set of ribs. This might seem far-fetched, but real-life Draco lizards are capable of gliding flight thanks to a set of wings that are, indeed, supported by their elongated ribs, as you can see by this skeleton.
That's so cool, man.
And since we touched on Groudon in part 1, we have to touch on its oceanic counterpart,
Kyogre looks hideous.
which looks downright awe-inspiring in realistic detail. Palmer imagines this legendary as a leviathan somewhere between a whale and the absolute largest of marine reptiles. To capture prey, Kyogre can use a dazzling bioluminescent display to lure in smaller species like Tentacruel.
That is
Above
cool,
the
though.
feeding Kyogre, a swarm of Frillish and Jellicent drift by,
Those look
their
good.
anatomy much closer to that of an earth jellyfish. And if you look closely,
Sharpedo
you
looks
might have spotted Sharpedo, whose stylized body has been reworked with a design that takes inspiration from sharks, of course, but also ocean sunfish, a strange and truncated-looking organism. This Sharpedo is going up against the Nautilus-like Amistar, another prehistoric species that was recently revived. And as our grand finale, we have the mythical and legendary Rayquaza, looking truly epic and realistic.
Look at its horrific-looking mouth,
This mighty serpent is exhibiting an unknown display of bioluminescence as it soars through the upper atmosphere.
Wow, Pidgeot looks really cool. Wow, but look at that. Okay, they did a good job on Rayquaza.
Intimidating to behold. Exactly how such a creature is capable of flight is unknown, and would likely require a variety of specialized flight organs. Believe it or not, there is a type of snake called a paradise tree snake that can glide for brief periods by leaping off trees, holding its body flat, and curving in a way which allows it to coast through the air. Rayquaza, of course, is taking this to a new level. And there's an entire aviary of flying types flocking in Rayquaza's shadow, including Pidgeot, Braviary, and others, all of whom look much more like birds you might see here on Earth. And with that, we've covered the majority of realistic Pokemon in the project.
Okay, another cool episode. I really enjoyed that, man. I don't know. I really like that. It may be kind of boring for you guys. I'm not sure, but I think it's really cool for someone to take realistic animals and like try to make Pokemon make sense with what is actually like could be possible based on animal evolution and stuff. Obviously, some of them are a little far-fetched, like the Rayquaza. Like, how do you make that thing fly? Obviously, that's hard to do, but I think he did a great job. Like, this Lugia was sick. The Gyarados is awesome. Abomasnow is weird. Mr. Mime is nightmare fuel, but overall, I really enjoy these videos. I think they're really cool. If there's another part, I'll check it out, and that'll be another video that I watch next week. If you guys enjoyed my reaction to this, make sure to give the video a thumbs up. Comment down below what your favorite part was or your favorite design of these different Pokemon was. Comment other things for me to react to because I'm always looking for new stuff to react to. I try to do at least 3 reaction videos a week, so it definitely helps to have requests. Right now, I've got a couple series going that makes it a little bit easier. But here coming in the next month or two, I'm probably going to need ideas again. So if you guys want to comment stuff down below, I'd be happy to react to it. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you for all the support lately. Make sure to do all that cool algorithm stuff. Subscribe to the channel if you want to know when new videos come out. Other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.